Our motto is Crafty Automobilia, and that's precisely what this project is today. My name is Mike. This is Jalopy Johnson Garage, where we do crafty automobilia, and today's project is extremely crafty. I got these oil cans, the old vintage ones, back when everything was mechanical and you needed to drop oil on things all the time. And I had them laid out on my workbench last night. I was trying to get inspired. What can I do with these things? And I have a super cool idea. All right, yeah, so how cool are these? These are old vintage oil drippers. And I learned something as I looked these up. They actually call them thumb pumpers. And it's because, just like the jars on a lid, you push that in. So you hear that? That's the pump that would squirt these things out. I didn't know that's how they work. So learn something new. Anyhow, yeah, we got 4 of these things. Got 2 little ones. The green one. And then this one is copper. Now the project today, I want to clean it up, but I still want it to look old. So I'm gonna be very careful when I clean these. And then some other players in today's project. I don't want to give away the whole thing. I want you to stay till the end to see how it whole turns out. But I've got an F. I got the whole thing. I got Ford, F-O-R-D. This old Ford hood letters, I guess, emblem, that are going to go into the project. I went out and, believe it or not, I got pieces of wood that I don't even have to cut. So I'm gonna be using this and 4 paper clips that will make look old. And in the end, it's gonna display a collection of old photographs. So these photos are of an old car that was built by my pops back in the early 60s. I have quite a few pictures, so I'll pull an assortment, almost like a before and after or construction type of collection. So let's get started. That was actually easy. So what you're looking for, what I was looking for there, is to get the grease off, but not make it look new, not polish it. So I just used a soft towel. I did not get like out the steel wool or anything like that. Don't want to polish it either. This, this cleaned up, but it's still dingy. And it's actually, I wish it wasn't quite as shiny, but it'll probably go down. Now the big question is, it's got, I don't even know what that, it's cut or soot or not sure. It could be someone's initials. I'm gonna leave that on there. For the project that I'm doing, I want it to look old, rustic, vintage. I'm even going to leave, I didn't even know, I thought there was grease on the end of this one. It's actually tape, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this little flap off. I'm gonna leave the tape on there. It just tells the story of the can, and it's gonna go with the whole thing. So next is the wood. So the wood, in my boneyard, I got all kinds of scrap wood. I'm gonna clean it. I don't want it dirty. But I want it to look old, and I'll probably use some of my Make It Look Old stain on here, just to kind of darken it up a little bit and make the edges kind of match the whole project. But I didn't have to cut these, so that's really cool. They actually work just right for how this project's gonna turn out. So let me do that. Oh, and then I'm gonna also stain up these little paper clips, big part of the project. All right, so this is my Make It Look Old stain. It's basically a vinegar and steel wool solution that people use to make wood look old. The only difference with mine is I let the steel wool just kind of rust up in there, so it actually gives it like a tint as well. So I'm gonna brush this all over everything, make sure the edges are nice and evened out, and I'll hit the rough cut edges as well. So in the end, everything will look kind of the same tint or the same color hue. All right, just a quick wipe down on this one, and then I'll move on to the next one. Now this board, like I said before, these were already cut. I did not have to cut them, but you could see it where it was ripped down that one side from previous project. So using this Make It Look Old stain is gonna definitely turn that edge and blend it in with the rest of the wood. Now for the clothespins, I just decided to dunk them right in my solution there using some long needle nose pliers. I'll grab it, dunk it in, grab a different spot so it flows over the whole clothespin. And that's it. Just gonna let that soak in and watch the color change on those. Here's the before and after on the clothespins. All right, so the next step is to actually attach these clothespins onto the neck or the stem of the oil cans. And instead of gluing them on, which I think would look tacky, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in some wire and wire them on. All right, to wire them on, I went right through that little, I guess, little cutout there and use that as the centerpiece. And I'm gonna put actually 2 pieces of wire. That way won't twist on me and it'll snug it up so it don't go up and down. So first thing is just to get a good little twist on the wire with your fingers. And then go ahead and grab the needle nose, crimp it down, and make it nice and tight. And then for the next piece of wire, I'm actually gonna go through the little spring hole there and do the exact same thing. Then finally, the last step is just to trim off the excess. All right, next are the Ford letters. So these tabs on these Ford letters often break. This is a complete set with no broken tabs. So kind of a shame that I'm gonna cut them off, but for this project, I just don't need them. All right, with the tabs cut off, I'm just gonna do a quick spray of Simple Green and wipe off of the dust, any extra fingerprints, and we'll be ready to go. All right, now, next step. Oh, the boards are actually, you can see how they're starting to lighten up a little bit, so that's good. I'm gonna glue the board. I think I'm just gonna use hot glue there. I'm going to measure out, space my Ford. My Ford logo across the front, is that nice? I'll glue those down. And then I got some little rubber, actually rubber washers, but we're gonna put those down to kind of give it a little, raise it up off of the piece of furniture or whatever, the shelf you put it on. And then just, that's it. I selected some more. I got a bunch of these old photos from the 40 Ford project. So I'm gonna pick those up, pick out which ones I want, and put it all together, and you'll see the reveal shortly.